What's going on, guys? It's your boy John, the Liquidator, coming back with another video. And it looked like Don Staley had a lot to say at the conclusion of this game. Guys, for this one here, we got to go down to Tampa. Let's get it. Let's go. The madness is over, man. Don Staley Gamecocks came up short today. UConn and Geno Auriemma was ready to go. And me personally, I feel like no one expected South Carolina to lose the way that they lost today. This was embarrassing, and they pretty much got bullied. And I hate to say this, Don Staley was outcoached by Geno Auriemma in today's matchup. Now, she did have a lot to say about a lot of her players being emotional after this game. Letting it be known, she need to let the emotion set in to where they can remember this moment. But I'm telling you right now, if you're counting Don Staley and them out, you better not do it, because the way Don Staley and South Carolina got embarrassed today, I'm telling you right now, they finna get in the lab and they're going to be back for vengeance. Now, this is exactly what Don Staley had to say immediately after the game, and y'all already know what time it is. Roll the footage.
And we start fielding questions for the student athletes. Please hold any of your questions for Coach until after we dismiss the student athletes. At this time, we'll open up for questions for Coach. For our student athletes. We'll start in front, right here. We can get the microphone over. Oh, I'm sorry, Coach. Your statement.
I thought I got away with
You
that.
did not get away with it. Your opening statement. My apologies.
Here's where I must say that, much respect to UConn. They did a masterful job, in executing on both sides of the basketball. And then at the same time, I have to say goodbye to a senior class that, had a historical impact on our game and our program and our conference and our city and our state. And, although they won't be in our huddle anymore, I'm sure they'll find their way in another huddle at the next level. And I just want to show my gratitude, my appreciation for all they've done for our program, because they elevated us and took us to a place where, we could only imagine.
With Mel and then work our way over. Mel, we need the microphone.
Oh, yeah. Dawn, between the two UConn games, was there anything different, considering that they both went the same way on differential than the last time, or, anything new?
Yeah, well, I thought we did a great job protecting the three-point line. And that was one of the things going into the game. If we could make it a 2-point game, meaning twos, executed, in the first half, we just couldn't get the looks that we normally make. If we just made layups, we might be able to make it a little bit more interesting. But at the end of the day, we didn't take care of the basketball, and we took a couple of bad shots. We didn't make layups, and they make you pay. Although the score may be, very similar in the results, I thought we had better execution of what we wanted to do coming into this one.
We're going to go to the back with Cam.
Hey, Don, Cameron Teague with The Athletic. I know it's obviously still so soon after this loss, but you've talked and praised the senior class so much all year. Knowing how important they've been to this program, I'm curious just if you can put into thoughts what they mean to you right now and what it's maybe like just to see them leave the court for the last time.
I'm one that I give them their flowers all the time. So, giving them their last flowers of just being in the locker room, is hang your head up high. There's no other women's college basketball student athlete has what they have, experienced what they experienced, won as much as they've won, and that's championships, and that's games, that's the experience that they.
The flip side of that is the younger players, the ones who will be back next year. What do you want and hope that they take away from this experience in today?
I hope they're crying. I hope they're boo-hooing, because from crying from crying and having emotion about losing. Makes you work a little bit harder in the off season. Makes you look at it and really analyze, what the separation is from their program and our program, and how we close the gap with that. Um, they're very talented, and I think they got a great experience of playing at this level that I hope they have a desire to get back here and do all the things that it takes to play in a national championship game, and then deliver the blows that's needed to win.
We're going to go to the center.
Coach Staley, David Jones with Urban Media Today. All tournament, you all have made really good adjustments going into the second half, which has been the difference every time. What was your thoughts coming out of halftime to make those changes to get back into the game?
Yeah, I mean, just what I said, like you know, most teams are down a lot more than 10 points against UConn at halftime. I thought if we can get some easy buckets, I think we're leading and rebounding at halftime. Um, Easy buckets, we kept the turnovers down to a minimum, but the turnovers that we did have led to easy buckets. So it just puts a lot of more pressure on our offense to perform. Um, I mean, our ball screen coverage was not great in the third and fourth quarters, um, as much as it was in the first two quarters. So they got loose with that. But I just tried to get our team to hone in on making shots, because to beat UConn, you got to score the basketball.
We're going to shift to our left.
Alan Cole, GamecockScoop.com. Another one of the seniors. You talked a lot about how much they impacted the program and the state of South Carolina. How did those three impact you, just as a coach and as a person, over the last 4 years, getting to know them?
Um, they're just great human beings. Like, they've allowed me to coach them being my uncensored self. Like, not a lot of coaches are able to just be who they are. I could have real conversations with them that maybe would probably hurt other people's feelings. And they allow me to be me because they know I'm just coming to them from a place of wanting them to get better, wanting them to continue their winning ways, and also preparing them for the next level. Because when you go to the next level, it is sink or swim, and it's probably not going to be from a coach's tongue, more so probably from a teammate, from somebody that is highly motivated, they highly competitive and want to win. And hopefully I've prepared them to be able to take in that and have some staying power at the next level.
We're going to go Howard, then Sean, then Michael.
Hey, Dawn. Howard Mandel at the Nets. Congratulations on the season you've had. Sort of two related things. You had held them to a single 3-point make at the half. You guys are down 10. I'm wondering whether that feels like victory or that feels like a negative indicator, because obviously they were north of 38%. And just related to it, whatever the game plan is, at the end of the day, they've got Strong, they've got Fudd, they've got Bueckers. You held Paige to, I think, 16 on 17 shots. But still 24 and 24, and then that's it. Is that
Right.
they just had too much?
Yeah. It's a victory. You hold them to 1-3. And that was at the end of the second quarter, that would have put us up. Put them up just in single digits. And that is a victory in itself. And it gives you a little bit of hope to say, hey, if we continue that, we can keep this thing close. And maybe them being in a close game, would give them some angst and put them in a situation that they haven't been in a whole lot, that could be advantageous to us. And then, it's hard. They're good. They're good. They work well together. They're super unselfish. They're incredibly skilled. And then the role players dagger you with the three, shade in the corner. So you got to have a really good day in order for you to beat them.
Sean?
Don, John Hurd, Anscape. Can I just ask how you're wrestling with this thing of this loss today being, the first time you're experiencing, coming up short in the national championship?
I mean, when our kids gave it all they had, and when you can understand why you lost, um, and and when you've been on the other side of that 3 times, you understand it. Like you can swallow it. We lost to a very very good basketball team, that you know they they beat our ass, but they didn't make us like it. There's a difference.
Michael?
Hi, Don. Michael Rosenberg, Sports Illustrated. With those younger players, what do you think they have learned and should learn from watching the senior class every day, not just in the games, but how they've conducted themselves?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm them. Um, they they have an example of how it's done on a daily basis, and if they aren't bringing it like they brought it on a daily basis, um, we're probably not going to end up here anymore. But which I doubt. Which I doubt. Um, so I mean, it is next woman up. We lose a large senior class with a lot of experience. Um, so, although our team will look different, what will be similar is the way we approach things, the way we work, the way we prep each and every season, and and I mean they still are experienced. They still have Final Four experience under their belt. They still have national championship experience under their belt. So, hopefully they can, in their own way, top with this class that's leaving out. They can top it. They have an opportunity to top what's happened over the past couple of years.
Shifting to our right.
Dawn, Kathleen from the Next. If you got to make a pitch for each one of your outgoing seniors as they head into the draft, what would those be?
Um, I mean, I can actually bottle them up and just speak on, what they're winners. Number one, two, they've been coached up. So any situation they'll be able to handle, any role they'll be able to handle. Um, the issue will probably be the terminology once they get to the next level. Um, but they defend. They'll have a really good understanding of how to defend, and then they are young people that are you know good people, like good to be around, can handle any role, and will be an asset to any franchise.
Go to the front with Dave. Excuse me. If you could pass it to the front for Dave, we'll come back.
Dawn, in the immediate aftermath with a player like Joyce, who is going to be a huge part of the team, did you pull her aside and say anything specific to her about, hey, bottle this up or remember it, or maybe just kind of let her be at this point?
No, I let her sit in her sadness. Sometimes letting them sit in their sadness is much more powerful than breaking breaking that train of thought. But we'll talk about it, and she'll express how she feels and what she needs to work on in order for her to get us back to this place.
Staying to our left.
Lou Haggerty, Amped Up Sports here in Tampa. Coach, it's easier to recruit the position. It's hard to recruit the player. What kind of intangibles are going out the door with your seniors?
Oh wow! I mean, they are the epitome of um, who we need to be successful. Um, their approach to practice, their approach to life. They got great parents. Like it's losing parents too. It's losing great parents when you have great pool of parents that get it, um, and they're able to shed light on what's happening to some other parents and what they're going through. So we lose a whole bunch of great parents that have been great advisors to our new parents. Um, so I mean, it'll be hard, but this happens every year where you lose a senior class, a really good senior class, and we find a way. But they'll always be a part of our program because they'll always get back and they'll always come back and they'll always be cheering. They'll probably stay in the team chat, so they always will have encouraging words to give to our young players.
Shifting back to our right.
Hey, Don, Chaz Frazier, ABC Columbia. You alluded to your senior class. They're holding their head high for all they accomplished. The younger players, you want them to be crying and feel this. I'm curious from a coaching staff perspective, what's the balance of throwing this one out the window, and how does it light a fire under you guys as there's turnover moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, anytime your season ends in a loss, it should light a fire. But you also got to look at it from how did we get beat? Did they flat out beat us? I think they flat out beat us because we tried to throw a lot at them, and they rose above it. They rose above it all. That's what happens when you have super talented players like that. We've been on the other side of it. So we get it. Younger players are just gonna have to step up. They gotta have a great summer. They gotta have a great fall. We're always gonna play a competitive schedule, so they'll have opportunities to grow in playing a competitive schedule. But I'm as excited for what our team will look like next year. I am, because I do think it'll be talented enough to get here, especially with getting in the transfer portal and getting some experienced pieces that can help with this young group.
Shift again back to our left.
Don, first of all, congratulations on a good run the last few years. How much do you relish the challenge when you beat Geno the first time, and now you get to compete against him today? I mean, what do you gain by competing against an iconic coach? I know you have a history with him, and I think there's something you should feel pretty good about: win, lose, or draw. Winning, and then him winning today.
Yeah, I mean, UConn's been the standard. So anytime that you can get any wins, you are breaking into moving ahead in the game, right? So I would say from the first time that we played UConn, since I've been at South Carolina, I think it was 2008 or 2009, first year. Got our heads beat in, and I try to. I'm the same way. Like, I'm gonna shake your hand the same way. I'm gonna look in your eyes the same way, because I know that at some point we're gonna win, and I don't want to. I don't want to give anybody a psychological advantage. They know when you kick their butt, and when you kick their butt. So it's the same way. I think they had the better team this year, and it's not always that you don't always win when you have the better team, but they had the better team this year and they won, and that's what you're supposed to do.
We'll take our last question from the back with Lindsay.
Lindsay Gibbs with Power Plays. Coach, you talked about letting Joyce sit in her sadness. Has that always been your philosophy as a coach with players during tough moments? And is that something that you do personally as well?
Not happy that he gets, his dream of being a head coach. Not very many. And the pundits, right? It's not very many Black men that get head coaching jobs. And the fact that he does, he's one of the, few Black men that got a head coaching job. I'm super proud of that. So thank you.
Shake